Happy Saturday, guys. I feel like it has been a hot minute since I've just really sat down and had a chat about everything that's going on in life. I feel like October was a crazy month. Like I literally felt like I was all over the place, and I feel like the whole of October I've actually been really sick. I don't know how that's really come across in any of the videos and stuff. I know definitely last week in Jarvis Bay I was super sick, and I think it's just because October was such like a full-on month that I barely had time to I don't know, not even like relax, but I barely had time to just like take a minute and chill out and do something for myself and just not feel like I'm exhausted going into the start of every single week. So anyway, this was not meant to be a negative start to the vlog, but that's kind of like how I was feeling throughout October. It was just like something every single weekend. So anyway, today is the first weekend in November, and actually I've had a really lazy weekend so far. Last night did not do anything, chilled, went to bed super early, made a pizza, very chill vibes. And then today Stephen has gone to go play golf for it's not really the weekend, for the night. He's like gone away for the night basically. They're playing golf today and tomorrow, so I've got the apartment to myself. So I was actually really looking forward to this. I love spending time by myself, but like on my own, in my own apartment, doing whatever I want to do, eating whatever I want to eat. And I feel like it could not have come at a more perfect time, because I don't know if you can hear, I'm still a little bit sick from last weekend, and I just really need a chill weekend. Now, saying that, I may potentially be going to Erin's house today because her boyfriend has also gone on the golf trip. So we might have like a little movie night or something like that. I need to message the girls and see what they're up to and see if we're still doing that. But if we do or if we don't, I'm kind of happy either way because it's going to be chill regardless. I feel like in a good few videos recently I've been kind of saying, oh yeah, like there's things I need to fill you guys in on, or like, oh yeah, we'll talk about this at some stage, and I just never get around to doing it. Like last weekend I thought I was going to have a chill weekend, and then literally Friday afternoon I got a text saying, hey, like want to go to Jarvis Bay for the weekend. So then my chill weekend that should have been last weekend, which is when I was just starting to get like really sick, ended up not being a chill weekend, but we had a great time, so that is what it is. But yeah, I really wanted to kind of talk about like life updates and, you know, just seeing what's going on at the minute, giving you guys the rundown on especially holidays. I feel like I haven't told you guys about all the trips that I've got coming up. So upcoming, we're in November now, so in December I'm going home for Christmas. This is going to be my first Christmas in England in 5 years. Like, that is actually crazy. My first cold Christmas in 5 years. My first Christmas with my family in 5 years. Like, it honestly feels surreal even thinking that like it's been that long since I've been and had a Christmas with my family at home. So yeah, that's super exciting. And we're actually only going for like a week basically. And then just before New Year's, I'm flying to Thailand for 2 weeks. So, oh, my camera battery is about to die. Let's just change that over quickly. Right, there we go, got a new battery in, so we're all good. So yeah, I was saying, so we're going to Thailand, and we are basically going there for 2 whole weeks. And initially we were trying to decide between how much of Thailand, well actually initially we were going to do 1 week in Thailand, 1 week in Vietnam, but everyone that we'd spoken to have kind of said that you needed longer than a week in both of those places. So we didn't want it to feel super rushed, and like we were trying to just cram things in just for the sake of like ticking off another country. So we've decided we're going to do 2 whole weeks in Thailand. And yeah, pretty much we are going on the southwest islands, I guess you would say. Like we're going to Koh Phi Phi and Koh Lanta, Phuket, like we're going to that sort of side of the islands. We did think about going up to the other islands, but it was quite a long journey to get from one to the other, and we just figured that, you know, we didn't want to spend our whole trip traveling. Like we're already doing a long flight from Sydney to London. Well, Stephen's going to Ireland, and I'm obviously going to London. It's like that by itself was already a big journey, and we just didn't want to do too much of that. Plus all of these flights that we were booking were added up and added up and adding up. So that's kind of like Christmas plans. And then we've already started booking into next year. So next year we have booked to go to the Australian Open. Also heard really good things about the tennis. Like in Australia it's meant to be like a good day out, even if you're not that fussed about tennis. So anyway, we've got tickets to go to one of the day games. We're staying in Melbourne for the weekend, which reminds me I do need to book that accommodation still. but that's okay. So yeah, we're doing that. So that's just like a little weekend, pretty much as soon as we get back from Thailand. Actually, like one of the first weekends after that, we're gonna go and fly to Melbourne. Then from there, basically Stephen and I have decided that instead of doing Christmas and birthday presents anymore, like we're gonna just stop Christmas and birthday presents. And the reason for that is we're not very materialistic people. We don't tend to buy each other like physical gifts. It always ends up being a trip somewhere or an experience, or, you know, like something along those lines. So we pretty much just decided that it would be better for us to just stop doing presents altogether and then put that money that we would have spent to once a year going on like a trip, you know, pretty much like that's it. So instead of just buying things just for the sake of buying things, we're actually just going to put all of our money together for those 4 lots of presents that we would have bought and just go away somewhere. So next year we're actually going to New Caledonia, which I feel like seems a bit of a rogue one, but it looks unreal and it's a short flight from Sydney. So that's like kind of like the main thing that we're going for. So next year Stephen's birthday actually falls on Easter weekend, so we are going to make the most out of the long weekend and head to New Caledonia, which is so exciting. And a part of that trip we're going to book to go to the Isle of Pines, so that's another thing that I still need to book. So I've got Melbourne accommodation to book and sorting out our flights or the ferry or whatever we're going to do to get to the Isle of Pines, which if you've never heard of, which I haven't heard of until I started researching New Caledonia, looks incredible. I don't know what it reminds me of, but I feel like it reminds me of like Canada mixed with somewhere tropical, like the two things together, if that makes any sense. But from there, the next place we're going to is Japan. And I don't think I've said this yet on a vlog yet either, but yeah, we're going to Japan in May and we actually got super cheap tickets to get there. So we're basically not planning to book anything more for a little while. And then Stephen came home from work one day and was like, there's a Qantas points sale to go to Japan, and then that happened. So yeah, we used points to get there. It cost us only 60,000 points each plus $100 in taxes for return flights to Tokyo. So like, I am so excited to go there. I feel like Japan's been one of those things that's like on our list of places we really want to go. So yeah, we're doing that. And we were initially just going to go to Tokyo and hang out in Tokyo for the whole, I think it's like 8 days or something that we're technically away for. But I think we've now decided that we're actually going to go down to we'll get the bullet train down to Osaka and we're going to go do Universal and everything like that. And then I think we also might just do like a day trip from Osaka to Kyoto. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. So yeah, that's kind of like all of our plans coming up. So I'm officially on a holiday ban. Stephen has told me that I cannot book any more holidays, not even weekends away, because we have just been blowing through money recently on all of these trips. And you know what, that's okay with me. I'm all here for the experiences and everything like that. So yeah, that's kind of like a little update on holidays. I have literally just spent basically the entire day doing nothing, and honestly like that is what I needed today. Just tried to make like a makeshift, you're not gonna be able to see that hot chocolate because I've literally got nothing at all in the house at the minute. I've got not even a tea bag. So I thought, okay, I've got cocoa powder and I've got milk. Try and make a hot chocolate and it tastes rancid. I'm gonna drink it still though because I want a hot drink, but yeah, it doesn't taste the best. And part of the reason I feel like why I've got nothing in the house, and I feel like this is gonna sound quite extreme. There's 2 things that I'm gonna try doing in November. The first is not drink any alcohol, which I think is gonna be hard on potentially 2 occasions. One, next weekend I'm going to Newcastle for a weekend away. That will be the first challenge to overcome. And the second is I've been invited to do a yacht social with 2 of the girls I know really well, went to uni with them, but don't know really, I've only met all of the other people once. And obviously like yacht social is like quite a big party drinking thing. So I've not actually bought my ticket to that yet for reasons that you'll find out in a second. But yeah, those are like the 2 things that I've kind of got coming up in November. Oh, actually that's a lie, there's a third thing. I've got a birthday party at the end of November on another boat. But yeah, I'm gonna try and do a drink-free November, so we're gonna see how that goes. And that also then kind of ties into my no spend November, which is the other thing that I'm gonna try and do. So printed off this little calendar. And what's the date today? It's November 4th today, so I haven't filled out yesterday just yet, but there's been obviously 4 days of the month so far. And yeah, my plan is, like I said, we've been blowing through money at the minute. We've still got loads to book. So, you know, it's not really a no spend November. It's like a, reducing my spend. It was just like, I would love to do a no spend month, but it's just so hard when you've got a full social calendar. So yeah, it's just kind of the way that it's planned out. But I'm thinking that if I don't drink any alcohol, that will limit basically quite a lot of the things. And I just got to be super careful with my meal preps and things like that, like no eating out and things like that, although I did eat out on Thursday. But anyway, yeah, so like I'll run through so far. So Wednesday was the first of the month, and the first of the month is always the worst day of the month because like all of my standing orders come out. So like my health insurance came out, our Disney Plus subscription came out, and our internet bill came out, and then I bought some noodles from Coles. So I don't know what total that is, but yeah, all of those things came out on Wednesday. And then Thursday, I was just a little bit naughty. I really didn't fancy eating the meal prep that I had made, so I ended up getting both Sushi Train and McDonald's because I couldn't decide which one I wanted. So yeah, but yesterday, which I can now mark off on here, I did in fact have a no spend day. I didn't pay for anything yesterday, so I'm just gonna color that one in. The end of the game, it will be at the end of the month to have as many of those bright yellow squares as possible with as little spending as possible. It is a few hours later and I am just about to head to Erin's place. We actually decided we're going to do I say paint and sip, but I'm not drinking, so I'm going to do just a paint, and I think the other girl's going to do a paint and sip. Well, I'm assuming they are. But yeah, that is the plan. I'm not going to bring my camera with me tonight because just want to have like a chill evening with the girls. So closing off for today, and we'll see you in the morning. Good morning and happy Sunday. I am still sick and I feel like it just doesn't seem to be getting any better, but it's okay. We've got to get on with our day. I want to try and have a more productive day than I had yesterday, because genuinely yesterday all I did was watch TV. I did go over to Erin's house and we did end up doing, well, started a little paint, and again, I just did the paint, I didn't do the sip part, but yeah, I started painting this. I've actually just been painting it this morning and trying to like stay off my phone a bit. Anyway, I'm in my coat and stuff because it is raining outside today and I need to go pick up our food shop. I'm going to do a run today, and yeah, I'm going to do an outside run, trying to decide between, my plan says to do 6k, but I kind of want to try to do a 10k outside, but we shall see. I didn't tell you guys this yet. The reason why I'm doing all this running is because I've signed up for a half marathon. So that's happening. Bear in mind, I'm not a runner. I used to hate to run. I don't hate it as much now. I feel like I'm still not fit enough to enjoy it, because like I definitely like need to get my fitness up more still, but I don't hate it as much as I used to. So yeah, I'm trying to push myself for the next few years. There's something that I want to talk to you guys about later, and it's basically like 30 things that I want to achieve before I'm 30. One of the things on that list is a marathon. So you know, I'm getting close to 30. I've still got a few years to go, but I need to start like working through this list that I've put together. So yeah, I'm going to run a half marathon and just get training for that, try to get my cardiovascular fitness up and everything like that. And yeah, I feel like I was just kind of getting sick of the gym. Like I'm just a bit bored of lifting weights at the minute. So yeah, I've been really into doing my Pilates and then running. So like I do have my running stuff on underneath my coat, but in the hopes basically, because obviously it was pouring with rain this morning, I was like, oh, I don't want to go, but I put a rain gear on, meaning I have to go at some stage today. But I'm gonna go pick up the food shop first and probably go for a run, depending on the rain basically. I'm trying to wait for a little break in the rain. I hope you can hear me because it's super windy, but I just finished my first ever outside 10k. Oh my god, I'm out of breath. I'm so proud of myself. I didn't stop once. I had to slow down a few times, but I never walked and I never stopped completely. So yeah, just ran around Centennial Park and now I'm just about to walk back home to the house. So yeah, super proud of myself. I don't know what time I did it in, but I'll put that up on the screen so you guys can see. And yeah, half marathon prep is officially underway, and hopefully you'll see over the next like 6 months, I think it's actually 6 months today to the marathon, that I hopefully will get A, fitter, and B, better at running. Back from that Coles shop, and this week I basically set myself a challenge to keep our food shop under $100. We usually spend like, I would say $200 to like $200 on our main food shop, but then I feel like we pick up things during the week, so we probably spend about $230 or $250 overall. So yeah, I set myself a challenge to keep it under $100. Because we're going to Newcastle at the weekend, it was a little bit easier to keep this shop cheaper because I'm not trying to buy anything for next weekend. So yeah, I'll just quickly run through what we've got. We have these snacks with our lunch, our little kid snacks, all the fruit and veg, trying to eat more fruit and veg, some chicken breasts. I did order chicken sausages, but they substituted them with these beef sausages. Honestly, I think one of the worst things about Australia is I don't understand this hype for beef sausages. Like, I just don't get that. Then we've got some burgers. We had these last week. These are actually unreal. Then from cupboards, just needed to restock on a few things. I needed some more mustard, some gravy granules. Again, part of trying to save money, we're going to make our own rice rather than using microwave rice. And then just needed some milk. Again, little kid snacks that we eat with our lunches. Some new tea bags, some oats for Stephen's breakfast. He also likes to drink these sparkling waters. Buns for the burgers. Oh, and I already did the sausages. So yeah, that's pretty much everything. All of this cost... It was like $98 or $99, which when you look at it, doesn't look like that much, but this will feed us for the whole week. I had some little bits and pieces left over from last week, so that just kind of covers us for everything. I wanted to show you that I finished my little painting, and I have put it up in our bedroom. It kind of looks out of place because we've got nothing else on that wall, and that's quite a big wall for such a small little painting, but I actually feel like it looks quite good. I'm quite proud of myself. So I was actually just editing this video, and I am very well aware that this video is getting quite lengthy, but I really just wanted to get everything out in this video. So the final thing that I really wanted to chat to you guys about was my 30 under 30 list that I'm like basically in the process of writing at the minute. And if you've never heard of a 30 for 30, it's basically just like a wish list, pretty much like a bucket list of 30 things that I want to do before I turn 30. Now I'm only 27 at the minute, so I do have a few years for these things, but like some of them are quite big things, so I feel like you do need that time. And there are things that I would have wanted to put on there, but like I just know that realistically it's not going to happen in the next few years. So let me go grab my phone and then I can talk you through what I've got on my list so far. So yeah, let's just run through this list. Now some of them are personal, so some of them I'm not going to speak about on this channel at this point in time, maybe in the future, but just like not right now. And I actually haven't got the full 30 things yet, so if you have any ideas of things that I could add to this list, please just let me know. Okay, but let us get started. So number one, I have visited 35 countries. I'm currently on 30 countries at the minute, so another 5 countries in the next 2.5 years I think is definitely feasible. Run a marathon. I think I mentioned this earlier in the video, so yeah, I've signed up for the half marathon already, so like that's kind of like work in progress. I want to be fluent in Spanish. Now that one I feel like it's a bit of a stretch because my Spanish is not very good at the moment. Like I couldn't hold a conversation in Spanish at the minute. I can understand like very, very, very little. Like I could probably watch like a kids TV show and maybe understand it, but yeah, that's definitely been on my list for a while, and I, to be honest with you, have made no effort of actually achieving that. So yeah, that's on the list. I want to gain my Australian permanent residency, so hopefully, fingers crossed, that will happen shortly because it's been a long time coming. I want to have visited all of the Australian states. Now I've done every state other than Northern Territory, so I've actually only got the Northern Territory to go, and then I've done all of the states here. I would like to do a skydive, which we're actually doing next weekend, so stay tuned for next weekend's video where Stephen and I are doing a skydive in Newcastle. I want to donate blood. I feel like I've maybe spoken about that before on this channel. I've always wanted to donate blood, but the issue is because I travel quite a bit and I travel to countries where I guess they're worried about bloodborne illnesses, I've like not been able to give blood so far. So yeah, that's on the list of things to do. Again, don't really know when I'm going to be able to do that because I'm still not eligible to give blood currently because I was in Africa in August. So yeah, that's kind of like trying to fit that one in. I want to complete the 75 hard. Again, I feel like that's going to be a tough one to do because like 75 days is a long time, but I would love to say that I've done it at least once. I want to cage dive with the great white sharks down in South Australia, or to be honest, it doesn't even have to be in South Australia. Like I would do it in South Africa, or I don't know if they do it in Guadeloupe, but like any of those countries where there's a lot of great white sharks, I would like to cage dive with them. I want to do a helicopter ride. Now, ideally, I would like to do a helicopter ride in New York or potentially in New Zealand over the glaciers. Like I've seen loads of people do that one and that looks really cool, but I definitely want to do one in New York as well. So helicopter ride somewhere. A girls trip to Vegas. I feel like that would be so much fun, but I feel like it's just so hard to get a girls trip out of the group chat and into real life. But yeah, that's something I definitely want to go and do. Swim with the whale sharks. I know that you can do this in WA or the Philippines. In my head, I'm thinking that I will go to the Philippines next Christmas for 3 weeks or 2 weeks. So I know you can do it there as well. So potentially, I know I said holiday plan early in this, but my mind always just thinks to like the next thing that I can plan and book. So that's what I'm kind of thinking. I want to take a self-defense class. I think that would be really interesting and obviously, you know, good to just have that skill set. So I would definitely want to do that. I want to take a solo trip, and I'm actually thinking that I'll do my solo trip to Auckland because Stephen has already been to Auckland and I don't think he cares about going back there. So I feel like I could maybe just do like a weekend trip there by myself. So that's kind of going on in my brain at the moment. I want to do a fine dining tasting menu and try everything. I'm a really, really, really fussy eater, and it's probably one of the things that I dislike about myself, that I'm just like in my head I'm like yeah, I'll try new things when it comes to food, and then it actually comes down to it and I'm awful. Like I look at it and if I don't like the look of it, I don't even want to like try it. So yeah, I definitely want to do that and just try loads of different foods. I think that will be a test for me when we go to Japan, is, you know, just being around cuisine that I'm not really familiar with and not being able to speak the language to like know exactly what's in it. So I'm just going to have to force myself to try things. What else? Where are we up to? I want to do a first aid course. I've already done a CPR course, but I think it would be good to have first aid as well. Again, there's a couple little reoccurring theme of like some safety things on here, but I just feel like those are good things that you should know in life. You never know when it will come in handy and when you might need it. I want to learn to scuba dive because all of these countries that I go to, they have all of these like amazing scuba diving things, and I can't scuba dive, so I never get to do any of them. Like Zanzibar is meant to be one of like the best places for scuba diving and couldn't do it there. My sister went and done it. And like Thailand we're going to, meant to have amazing scuba diving, can't do it because I don't have a scuba diving license. So yeah, that's on the list. I want to see one more wonder of the world. So I've seen one of the 7. I've seen the Colosseum. I would like to see one of the other 6 by the time I'm 30. I mean, ideally I would love to have seen all 7, but I just don't feel like that's realistic to go to all of those countries in the next 2 years. So yeah, trying to be realistic here. I would like to go on a cruise. Going on a cruise is like quite high up on my bucket list. Stephen has no interest in going on a cruise, so maybe that actually could be my little solo trip, is a cruise. The issue with Australia is that all of the cruises, you need like 2 weeks really to actually get anywhere because everywhere is so far away. So maybe that's one. I would like to do one around the Caribbean because I feel like that would be a really good way to see like the Caribbean islands, but yeah, we'll have to see when I can get myself over to the Caribbean. I want to do a hot air balloon ride, and specifically, and now that I think about this, maybe this won't happen before 30, but when I was watching some YouTube videos of safaris, I saw people do a hot air balloon over the national parks, and that honestly looked unreal. I didn't realize at the time when I saw people advertising it when we were in Tanzania that that's what it was. I just thought it was like, you know, just a regular hot air balloon ride where you go see the view, but you actually go over the animals, and honestly it looks incredible. So now I have it in my head that I want to go do that. I want to take a cooking class. I actually am doing a cooking class in a couple of weeks, but it's kind of more like a fun one with friends. But I would actually like to get really good at cooking. Like, if I don't say it myself, I am a pretty good cook, but I could definitely be better. And I feel like I cook a lot, so you might as well be good at something and be able to whip up like good meals. And I love cooking for people. Like, I love impressing people with food. So yeah, I love hosting like dinners and things like that and having people over for food. So yeah, would like to do a cooking class. Fly a plane is the next one. Now that's a bit rogue, but I always say that if I could go back and like, I guess like start my career again, then I would choose to be a pilot, or I would consider to be a pilot. Like, I think if I was to pick a dream job, pilot would be up there. And now I kind of have a suspicion that I would regret that once actually being a pilot, and it's probably quite boring, but I just like the idea of traveling the world and getting paid for it. And the final one that I've got on this list that I'm going to talk about today is doing a racetrack day. Now this one's kind of a bit rogue as well, because I despise driving fast. I got in a really bad car accident when I was in high school, and yeah, like the car flipped and everything. So I'm quite a nervous passenger as it is, and I don't like to speed. I don't like being in the car with people that speed, but I would really like to do a racetrack day and actually get to drive like the supercars. But yeah, that's another one on the list. And yeah, anyway, I'm aware that this video is super long, but yeah, thanks for listening along, catching up on life with me, and hopefully over the next couple of years, I'll be slowly, one by one, ticking off all of those things on that 30 before 30. And of course, you guys will come along on the journey with me. So if you made it to the end, thank you so much for watching. It really does mean a lot to me. Please make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this a video a thumbs up. See you next week.